Hi, everybody. This is Saad. It's now nearly 48 hours since the incident at the Academy Award ceremony where Will Smith slapped Chris Rock for making an innocuous joke about Will Smith's wife's hair. Uh, I don't know if it's anticlimactic to weigh in at this point, but I thought that there are definitely several general lessons that can be gleaned from this situation. So I thought it was still worthwhile to perhaps offer a synthesis of some of my thoughts. So, first, many years ago, back in 2010, I think, I had written an article on Psychology Today, which I've since read on my YouTube channel and on my podcast. The article is titled The Narcissism and Grandiosity of Celebrities. And in the article, I was trying to offer some reasons, including psychological ones, that explain why celebrities are so narcissistic and so grandiose. There are several reasons. I highly suggest that you check out the clip on the topic. I will add it at the end of this clip so that you can go to it if you'd like. One of the reasons that I suggested that celebrities are so narcissistic is because I argue that they suffer from a form of existential guilt. So in the same way that a person who survives a plane crash while the person sitting next to them did not suffers from survival guilt, right? Why is it that the cosmos has allowed me to survive? What's special about me that caused this other person, just because of the randomness of where they were sitting, to die? And that could cause quite a debilitating form of survival guilt. Well, I argue that celebrities suffer from existential guilt, meaning that at the end of the day, when they put their heads on their pillows to fall asleep, they know deep down inside that they are not worthy of the adulation that they receive. I mean, they're just actors playing a role, right? They really are extraordinarily ordinary in the grand scheme of life. And but if I can now construct, I'm speaking now as a celebrity on their behalf, if I can construct a new narrative about who I am curing climate change. I am curing aging for women. I am helping solve global geopolitical strife. Then maybe I am worthy of the $20 million I make a movie. Maybe I truly am someone important, worthy of all the adulation I receive. So because of their existential guilt, they end up overestimating how important they are in terms of their interjections on things that they know nothing about. So now we come to, so of course they are incredibly narcissistic, they're petulant, most of them are astronomically ignorant. They truly are walking manifestations of Dunning-Kruger. By the way, Dave Dunning was my former psychology professor at Cornell University when I was a doctoral student. And so, they never get told no by the people around them. They're always surrounded by yes people. If a celebrity doesn't want to be exposed to the color blue, well, then all of his or her handlers have to walk around the ecosystem and remove the color blue. So when you have no one telling you, no one is regulating your narcissism, your grandiosity, your petulance, your self-absorption, your vanity, your pride, in a way that most of us would be corrected by those around us, then you end up being a monster. So you're already shallow, you're already superficial, you're already a hack, and now you have $20 million thrown at you. You think that you are God, and they truly fall prey to that, bias. So that's the general thing. I was kind of summarizing that earlier clip about the narcissism and grandiosity of celebrities. Now, what happened on Sunday, adds to that story. So, number one, Will Smith, in my view, is a truly creepy guy. My radar is quite adept at picking up things. I'm kind of like the dolphin has echolocation, where it can detect using sound waves where things, where prey is hidden. So that sensorial ability is one that humans don't have. Well, I've got echolocation abilities, supernatural abilities when it comes to detecting bullshitters and creeps. His kind of, gee shucks, I'd like to be a crossover guy, loved by everybody. His kind of court jester shit was never something that I was into. I find him to be rather creepy, frankly obnoxious. There's nothing that I like about him. His wife is basically as pleasant as Ebola. She's haughty. She's sassy. She exudes all of the qualities or lack thereof that I find truly reprehensible. So from afar, I don't find them particularly interesting. Now, that doesn't mean I don't find any actors interesting. Anthony Hopkins is someone that I admire. He truly is a thespian. Will Smith, notwithstanding apparently his great performance that caused him to win the Academy Award, is not someone that I would pay money to see. Don't care about him. Don't care about his ridiculous, rap from the 80s and 90s and so on. Okay, but that's just my personal opinion of his quote art. Assuming that what happened is not fake, we don't know. Some people say yes, some people say no. So I'm going to go on the premise that it wasn't fake. In which other context, professional context, can you get up, assault someone, and experience no consequences, right? I get attacked, and people, when the story happened with my wife at the cafe, and the pronoun Taliban came after her and were saying some horrible things about her, I didn't go around trying to dox every single person who was throwing vile insults at my wife to try to slap them and kill them and shoot them. I went like this. I recognized that that's part of the territory, and I moved on. Would it have been okay if the person had said this to my face, that I go around beating them up? Would that have absolved me of any criminal or civil pursuit because, I was defending my wife? Incidentally, not that any of these contexts should necessitate violence, but the joke was truly innocuous, and we can debate whether Chris Rock knew that she had that condition whereby she loses her hair or not. That doesn't matter. It was an incredibly innocuous thing. The guy gets up and attacks him, and then is incredibly vulgar, right? Get my wife's name out of your effing mouth. That's how you behave in a professional setting when you are a thespian, right? You can't take the hood out of the guy, apparently, right? That's not how we behave. So, number one, there is never a context, in these kinds of innocuous situations where violence is the answer. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm hardly a pacifist. I'm hardly a kumbaya guy, turn the other cheek. But this was certainly not a situation where it warranted a violent assault on another person, number one. Number two, and here I'm speculating, but I think I'm standing on good theoretical ground. Apparently, Will's wife has been turning him into a cuckold for quite some time. In Arabic, you say بتربي قرون. She's building him horns, which I think is also a term that is used in the Spanish language. This is when someone is a cuckold. Now, if you know anything about evolutionary psychology, much of the behavioral, cognitive, and emotional systems that drive male psychology is driven by an attempt to thwart the threat of cuckoldry. So when you're sitting around while your wife recounts the 14,987 guys that she has apparently had extramarital sexual dalliances with, but we're in an open relationship, and I'm proud of my sister for expressing her freedom, while inside he is being castrated 1 little millimeter at a time, is probably something that doesn't make him feel too good about himself. And therefore, I am now going to show her what kind of solid man I am by getting up there and defending her honor. If you saw the kind of look of haughty, unearned disdain that she exhibited, right? Ugh. Oh, the peasant laughing at me. Who are you, Jada Smith, whatever her name is? What have you done that's so great? So then I contextualize these just parasites. I don't mean now just the Smiths. I mean all of these self-indulgent, creepy, parasitic narcissists in Hollywood, where they truly walk around as though they are these royal, saviors of society. And I contrast that to the everyday when a bus driver goes to work, every day clocks in, the machinist, the soldier, the cop, the teacher, the nurse, the surgeon, the professor, the accountant, the retail clerk, all the people who every day go about living their lives, not making in a year what these degenerates make per second, because they simply act out the words of another person, another writer. At least let's adulate the writers who come up with the dialogue, not the person who goes, stop or I'll shoot, cut, there goes $20 million. So I view these people with such derision. Now, if they were just doing their acting, they had some mild remuneration for it. They did their thing and then would just shut the F up and be happy that they are working actors, then that's fine. But that's not what they do. They are the anointed ones. They are the ones who explain to us all that needs to be explained in life, because they pretend that they are someone. So, yes, I have great disdain for these idiots. I think that it is grotesque what Will Smith did. I think part of it, if I'm going to be speculative in my psychoanalysis, is that he is suffering from cuckold rage, and therefore he wanted to show his wife, I am worthy of your love. Maybe you need to slow down your dalliances with the 18,437,636 other lovers that you take on, because bruh, we're in an open relationship, and maybe respect me for being the man that I am. I'm worthy of being your only man. And I'm going to show you that by getting really angry about an innocuous joke which few seconds earlier I myself was laughing at. So there is nothing that is good in what happened in any possible way. Also, I should add that his subsequent slobbering, I want to be a vessel of love. Who the F are you to be a vessel of anything? You were the Prince Hair, whatever it was called, Prince Bel-Air. That's it. Shut the F up. You're not a vessel for anything. You're not teaching us how to love. Oh my God, I didn't know how to love until Will Smith used his body and spirit to teach us what love is. He's a vessel of love who goes around saying, you get your wife's mouth, effing mouth, whatever the hell he said. So it's so self-indulgent. It is so self-absorbed. Just accept your stupid little award. Move on. Let us go on with our lives. People can't afford the gas so that they can live their lives with dignity. They can't afford to put food on the table, and you're going up acting like a buffoon. Now, Chris Rock, I'm not a huge fan of Chris Rock, but I think he handled it really well. I think he was restrained. I'm not sure, given my personhood and my background, whether I would have been quite as restrained as him. I can get quite fiery for a lot less than someone smashing me in the face. But hey, more power to him for having the restraint that is necessary to handle such a violent and unprovoked attack. And again, don't get me wrong. I'm hardly one who doesn't believe in honor and chivalry and defending your wife and so on. Believe me, I'm all about those things. I'm not sure that this was a situation that warranted this, right? Chris Rock is a comedian. He picks on many people who are in the audience, and you could have just truly had class, shrugged it off and said, what a silly joke, and moved on. And then you come across as the top dog. But because he is a little horn guy, if you understand what I'm saying, then maybe that's what was driving it. And again, I'm being speculative. I'm not sure if that was at the root of it, but it certainly seemed that there is a theoretical mechanism that could justify this analysis. So there you have it. There's my story. By the way, if we want to incorporate race into it, if the two participants in this story were not both black, would people have reacted the same way? If the attacker were white and Chris Rock, was the person that he is, what would have happened? What would have happened if it's reversed? What would have happened if they're... So it seems as though, again, this is speculation, but I think it is well-founded speculation. It seems as though the fact that both were black men, somehow we get a pass? No, we don't get a pass, right? Lady Justice is blind, irrespective of the identity of the perpetrator of a crime and the victim of the crime. Read Parasitic Mind to understand that principle. Progressive logic doesn't adhere by that. Sharia law doesn't adhere by that. It basically says the severity of a crime is a function of the identity of the two players in that saga, the victim and the perpetrator. No. In a truly enlightened society, your identity goes out the window when we are deciding on the severity of a crime. Getting up in the middle of a award show that is being diffused, shown to millions and millions of people is not the way you want to be acting. What about you being a role model? Is this the message you want to be sending to people, that if someone makes an innocuous joke, you can get up and slam them? Well, if you're a role model, if you are a vessel of love, boy, did you fail there. So Will Smith is a schmuck. He's an utter buffoon. I have no respect for him. I have no respect for his wife, his kids. I did a clip many years ago on his son, kind of the spacey one. They're not exactly the most poised, dignified, and cerebral types. You know how you become cerebral? You spend a lot of time cultivating your brain, your knowledge base. You don't do BS stuff. You don't do woke stuff. You read books. You nourish your mind. That knowledge nourishes your soul. It feeds you in all of the important ways. Will Smith and Jaden Smith and Jada, whatever her name is, are not exactly deep and profound people. They play a role. That's great. They've won the lottery. They make all the money. By the way, instead of 4, 5, 6 years ago when she decided she wanted to boycott the Oscars because there wasn't enough diversity, maybe she should be standing up like Secretary Condoleezza Rice, who went through a very difficult childhood. She's now the director of the Hoover Institution, and she has said recently on a show where she said, look, I believe in the United States. I believe that there were some bad things in the past, but United States worked hard to overcome that. There is no systemic racism. It's probably the least racist society in the world by far. And I love the United States, and I only see positive trajectory moving forward. That's a woman that is who is dignified, who is poised, who is classy, who has gratitude towards all of the opportunities that have been afforded to her. She worked hard and she made it. Jada Pinkett Smith, I hope I got that name right, is exactly the antithesis of that. She's entitled, she's venomous, she's obnoxious. She makes a cuckold out of her husband and laughs at him. In your face, take that, boy. Let me tell you the details of what I did yesterday with my 74th lover. You like that? Let me tell you some more details. Punk. So they're grotesque people. They won the lottery. They made tons of money. They live in California. They're on the beach. Shut the F up. Be happy with what you have. Be grateful. And get out of our collective conscience. Cheers, everybody.